Welcome back to my car. Trigger warning. Man, I gotta get used to seeing my chins in this angle. This is such a bad angle. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's talk about eating disorders. And what I'm kind of experiencing right now. So, if you haven't seen my last video, I'm on Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams. I just took my third dose last night. I take my doses Tuesday nights. I have one more dose of 2.5 milligrams to go before I move up to 5 milligrams. So, man, I can't get over how I look right now. Okay, anyway. So, I have an eating disorder, self-diagnosed eating disorder. It's not really that difficult, in my opinion, to diagnose, but it would be on the spectrum of like binge eating disorder, like emotional eating, that type of thing. When I get stressed, the first thing I do is I reach for something sugary. So I've known that I've had that for a very long time. That's what got me into this situation. That's what, fuels my PCOS, the diabetes, all that stuff, right? But being on Mounjaro, being on Trulicity, Ozempic, any sort of injection that helps you lose weight kind of puts you in a different category of eating disorders, because you're so not hungry from the shot to the point where it feels like freedom. It feels like freedom from the food noise, freedom from your addiction because you're not constantly thinking about food. So then you just don't eat. And that in itself becomes a whole nother type of eating disorder, which also is not good. So what I'm struggling with right now is the fact that I know I am eating way, way, way less, like an insane amount less than what I previously was consuming. I mean, I would eat out basically every day a week, at least 2 times a day. And it would be like fried food, or it would be Starbucks, or it would be Dairy Queen. Like, I'm not stupid. I know what got me in this situation. Obviously now I'm not doing that. I'm eating 2 to 3 meals a day with maybe like a snack or 2 in between. So if I had to guess, I would say I'm eating at least 1,000 calories less than what I typically would eat not on this medication. Now, I've been on this medication 2 weeks as of yesterday, and I've lost like 10.2 pounds. I'm going between 10.2 and 10.5. And to me, I'm frustrated because the scale is not moving the way that I would like for it to, or the way that my brain is telling me it's supposed to. I'm sitting here going, I'm 2 ounces more than I was yesterday, or because unfortunately I have a bad habit of weighing myself every single day, which also I know is a whole other type of addiction. And it's creating another sort of food addiction in my head, because an eating disorder, because I'm like, well, I'm probably consuming, like I said, at least 1,000 calories less, not eating anything fried, hardly eating any like sugar, like chocolate, candy, that type of thing, and yet the scale is not moving. And this morning it really kind of fucked with my head. Like, I was texting my sister about it, and I was like, I'm really upset about this, actually. Like, and the problem is I'm very logical, and I understand it takes time. You don't want for it to be super fast anyways, because then, you gain it back really quickly. I understand the dose that I'm on is just like a starter dose of the medication. I understand all these things. I'm not exercising, you know, I get it, but also I'm like comparing myself, and this is gonna sound really stupid because obviously two completely separate things, but I'm comparing myself to like my 600-pound life, and those people are over 300 pounds more than I weigh, if not some of them more. And they're going from eating probably 5, 6, 7,000 calories a day to being on Dr. Now's very strict diet of like 1,000 to 1,500 calories. So of course they're going to lose weight rapidly. But that's saying like the bigger you are, the faster you lose in the beginning. I also feel like has been like ingrained in my brain for a long time. And so I'm like, what the hell? I've only lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks on this medication, and I feel like I'm already at a stall, and I'm like, what the fuck? I literally just started. Like, how could I possibly be at a stall already? And so it's really messing with my mind. Like, this is just as much a mental change and a mental thing as it is a physical thing. And I don't know if any of the videos I republished on here talk about my weight loss surgery, but that's another thing I'm kind of struggling with, because in 2017 on February 1st I had gastric sleeve surgery, and I lost almost 100 pounds. I was like 3 pounds away from losing 100 pounds, and my mind just self-sabotage kicked back in. Slowly but surely I gained so much weight back. Thankfully I have never gotten back up to my surgery weight or pre-surgery weight, but that doesn't mean I haven't gained more than half of that back. And so that's kind of been triggering me a little bit recently too, because that like 7-year anniversary just came up on February 1st, and it just reminded me, and reminds me every time it comes around, and like I see pictures and like all that stuff, that like if I would have just dealt with the mental side of this before my surgery, because it is not a magic fix, if I would have just dealt with these eating disorders, if I would have just really dove into why I'm like this, then like maybe I would have been successful with my surgery. And don't get me wrong, the 2 years that I was doing well, maybe a year and a half that I was doing well, I don't regret for anything. I don't regret getting that surgery. It gave me my life back. I really feel like if I wouldn't have gotten it when I did, I would have gained even more weight than I did at the time, and I would be even bigger than I am like now. And yeah, I mean, it still changed my body in positive ways. But obviously I didn't do what I was supposed to do. I didn't follow through with the things that I was supposed to follow through with. I struggled really hard after the first year, and it's crazy because I was the happiest I had been in so long. I was comfortable in my body. I was confident, which is like not a word in my vocabulary. I loved how I looked. All of that to say, the food addiction was just stronger than all of those things. And so, you know, that's the root of all of this. Obviously on top of my health issues with the PCOS, insulin resistance, all that stuff, but my food addiction aids in all of those other things. And so it makes it really, really difficult. I mean, I was just speaking with my sister. Me and my sister are besties, so her and I were just talking about this the other day, how at this point in my life, I'm just kind of in that buck up or shut up phase. Like, if you're not doing every single thing in your power to fix something, then you have absolutely no right to continue to complain about it. Because if you're not doing things or the things that you know are going to make you better or fix a situation or whatever the case is, then you have no right to, you know, to complain and sit here and be upset and this is not and whatever. That's just not, in my eyes, how that works. I really would like to say that I try my absolute best, but I don't. I know that I don't. I know I don't give it 110%. I know that I like to think that I do, but I don't actually. And so, like I said, at this point in my life, I'm at the shut up or buck up or shut up stage. Basically, as in, like, I just need to do it, or I need to stop complaining. So, that was my little rant. But has anybody else felt similar on these medications? Like, do you feel like it kind of, like, makes you a little obsessive over the scale? Does it make you feel like, oh, well, if I'm not hungry, if I'm not hungry, then I'm just not gonna eat. Like, which also, like I said, is another form of an eating disorder. The mind is a tricky fucking thing, y'all. And I don't know, I've just been cranky the last few days because I just want to see results so bad. And I think the other thing too is, for the amount of weight I have to lose, 10 pounds to me, I don't see it. I don't feel much different. So I think I'm just waiting for that big, like, whoosh of, like, weight to come off. And I know I'm doing well. Like, I know I am. For instance, I'm a nanny. I went today to a little donut shop with my little girl that I nanny for. She just turned 3. And we got a donut. And this is a frequent place that I used to get things from. I used to get a cheddar, pimento, fried chicken biscuit. And then they had these double chocolate cake batter donuts. And I would get that and the biscuit. And so today, when we went to this place and I saw them sitting there, I, for a split second, was like, ugh, I really want one of those donuts. But I said no. And if I didn't have this medicine, there's no way in hell I would have had the willpower to say no to it. So it definitely, like I said, helps with the food noise quite a bit. I just really, really, really want to see the difference on the scale too, which again, I know is because it's a mind fuck. I associate the scale with victory, and I need to stop doing that. I need to focus on the non-scale victories more than the actual scale victories. So, that's that. Anybody else ever feel that way? Just me? Okay.